All right, it's time for some lock shop. So we got some push-through cabinets. We're gonna have two of them. They're identical. So essentially they're just gonna be like Cabazon shoebox cabinets. But as usual, they're gonna have some extra design sauce slathered all over them. So I just wanna make sure that there's a couple of things I wanna point out. But otherwise, it's nothing too crazy that you cold-blooded sign assassins can't handle. You weapons of mass construction. Fabrication's got it. It's no big deal, but we'll just go over it. So let's get after it. Let's get after the lay of the land here. So we'll have the two faces like you do. You have your ends you're going to weld in, shoot your studs. You've got the cabinet backer, which is what you're used to. That would normally go on the wall. We'll go over that. And then what I have, what's called the main backer. This is what's actually going to go to the wall. Look for those. And then you have your deco chunks, your decorative chunks. Those are your kind of wedged or, roundy parts, the top and bottom. So you're going to have jiggies, and you're going to have faces. You're going to have little end pieces. So keep an eye out for all of those. You got them all marked top and bottom. And I'll go over the power supply, how that works. It's going to be in the cabinet, unfortunately, but it is what it is. You got your 1/2-inch clear pushies. Get those to first shop. You got your backers. Get those first shop. Got a couple of patterns for install. All right, so let's just start from the face. Again, it's just gonna be like a Cabazon shoebox, no big deal, 5 inches deep. It's just gonna be on the angle. But get the stud shot, get those welded up ends. Do your backer like you normally do. In order to clear this weld here though, I had to kind of stretch this out a bit. So you'll have your normal like 45 at the top here, but this will be closer to like a 30 degree or something. So no big deal. Get that welded in, get it all stitched up. You're only going to have braces along the top. I went ahead and gave you 12 of those, but you really only need them along the top. This is only 12 inches tall. It's long, but it's not that tall. So once you get that done, you're kind of done with the cabinets. That's fine. We'll stop there. Then what you're going to do is go ahead and make your deco chunks. So you'll have a top with a face out, and you'll have a face out here. I think they're 100%. I did split them and kind of symmetrical them, mirrored them, but just to make sure I got a left and a right, but I think they're symmetrical. Anyway, so you got your top. Make sure you got that little piece there. It's going to be a little fun little wedge piece. I have this open right here so you can tack it. Obviously, there's not going to be any room in the middle here, so these are just going to be a direct weld to the face like we do for these smaller ones. So they'll be kind of closed in. And then that means you'll have a void, right, that you'll have to kind of, build up your lords across because there'll be nothing here. Anyway, and then because these are going to lords directly to the main backer, top and bottom here, you do not need a quote unquote face for the backside. So you'll only have a face for the front, and go ahead and lords those to the front, to the face, for this guy and this guy. And then once you're set, it's just going to be as simple as lordsing these really well to the main backer. And again, do not put this on yet. I'll explain this. So just put your deco chunks onto the main backer. Now the main backer is inlined for these top deco chunks in the bottom. It's inlined in 09. So don't expect this to so it's actually cut to the size of the jig. It's not cut to the face. So don't expect this to line up on the back side. I want it to kind of look like it was floating a little bit. Ooh. Plus, you don't have to worry about bondoing that edge. They can just worry about bondoing the face edge, and that's good. Now, if you put the backer on now, the problem is we only have, I'm going to turn this, let's make this like lavender or whatever. This is only 3/16 of an inch. So obviously paint would not be able to paint the bottom side. That's not really a big of a deal, but it's always tough, and bondo and water and junk gets in there. So we're going to do what we don't normally do. This is like lords after paint, but we're going to go ahead and leave this backer off. You're going to use the cabinet backer, and you're going to go ahead and lords that on after paint. So that way this just goes out with the two deco chunks and we're good to go. That way they can sand this really well, get paint in there real good. Now, the other part of that though is you'll have paint buildup on the backer, and we're going to want to lords this after. So you can make the judgment call if you want to talk to paint. I know they don't normally watch these, but if you want to mask this for yourself or have them mask this part to keep that metal to metal for after paint. If not, you know, you just expect to have to grind it a little bit, whatever's, it's up to you guys. Now, as far as once this comes out of paint and the deco chunks are a nice gray like that, then what you can do is all you got to do is really just, it just has to survive enough to get to install. Is just maybe put a perimeter lords real quick and maybe just like a little squishy, little squiggle. We don't want to build it up too much, and we don't want it to be crooked or, you know, like kind of off twisted or anything. But this is just to hold it together so that way install could take it out there, you know, put their pattern up and then assemble it up there, you know, put it. Once it's installed, the hardware obviously will keep everything together, no big deal. Now, before you get a little ahead of ourselves, let's talk about the power. Before you lords this onto here, you can tack this in. So nothing like we don't normally do. You're going to have the red is the bigger piece, you know, here, that's the switch side. And then the bottom, the inside blue slides in and it creates the pocket for the where the switch is going to live. Now we want to make sure that you do this with this side down. So you'll create a cavity on this side. This side will actually be open, so don't worry about that. And then what this does is rivet this together, and then this gives you these three spots here to give you cleco right here. And then once you have that clecoed in spot, then you can go ahead and tack it all the way around. And that way we get good bonding. So don't lords this in, go ahead and tack it to the inside, and it's going to live over here in the corner. You can see where it just misses the INC and all that. You'll have a little switch birdhouse here, a little separate, you know how we do. UL can't sell us nothing. You'll have this top piece here. You'll have this end piece. Go ahead and rivet that on there, and that'll create this guy that sticks out this way. And then this will be a cover for the switch. And then you can bring your wires out. We'll throw a GE on top. I got your GE right here. I got your bonding right there. And then you got a switch plate. So you'll be able to put the switch plate on and then cover it with the little cover here. And then we're good to go. So just make sure all that's assembled properly, and then go ahead and just tack that into place on the inside of the cabinet. You got your hole right there. So just go ahead and nail it down there. And then once that's in place after paint, all you're going to do is lords these backers onto the main backer, and then this thing's ready to go. Assemble the face. Install. If you do watch this, you're going to have to figure out obviously where your power is coming in. I don't have a power hole, so you can measure and cut like you do, and then bring your power in, and then you just got to bring it over here to the corner. So remember, all wires 1/2 inch off the bottom of the cabinet, right, class? You know, except if it's class 2. But anyway, I got 1.5 inches here, so you know, keeps it off the bottom of the cabinet. UL should be happy for that. So anyway, so I think that's it. You know, as usual, it's not that big a deal. It's just a mashup of different methods for us. So, but anyway, so we're all, you know, good luck. We're all counting on you. If you have any questions, hit me up.
Check the technique. Check the technique. See if you can follow it.